everybody. It's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to this edition of the Timmy Flyersguy podcast. A special guest. He is a big Flyers fan, Mr. Greg Wade. Greg, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been a Flyers fan since they've been around in '67. I was lucky enough to be around for both Stanley Cups, went to the parades. It was amazing, and now I'm waiting for another one so I can take my sons and my grandkids to a parade. But, like I said, love the Flyers. My kids, every Christmas, that's all I get for Christmas is Flyers stuff.
Cool. Oh yeah, congratulations on beating cancer.
Thank you. It's been a tough battle, but, I had a lot of backing from guys like you, Tom Miller and Pam Miller, Greg Stover, all these guys, all the Flyer Nation. Over 3,000 people have contacted me and wished me well. We're still going through a little bit of stuff, but, Oscar strong, Greg strong.
Yep. I just wish that my dad was still here right now. Unfortunately, he lost a battle to cancer and he passed away in 2016.
I'm sorry to hear that. I lost my mom also to cancer, and my grandmother and a couple aunts. It's a terrible disease, and it's quite a battle, but I tried to stay positive, and I used Oscar Lindbaum as an example. He had a smile on his face every day and a positive attitude, and that's how I just refused to give in.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm still here.
Yep.
And
so, I'm gonna address the, elephant in the room. This has been a tough season. How do you feel about it?
It sure has. Well, it's been horrible. The expectations were so high, and they started off pretty good, but the defense has not been playing very well.
Yeah, maybe.
Just too many 2-on-1s and 2-on-0s, and
yeah, it's crazy.
It is, and it's hard to watch sometimes because I just really thought this would be a year where they would step up and start playing like a true Stanley Cup contender, but unfortunately it hasn't happened.
Yeah, they were lucky. They were lucky to win that game. They were lucky.
Yep. Oh, the other night, that was pure luck. I mean, it was awesome that they came back, but they blew a 2-0 lead, and then,
Yeah, and I know
that was an awesome goal by Rourke.
Yeah, that goal was incredible. I noticed that a lot of games have been like that. They score a goal, and then they get scored on.
Yep. And that's it. They're either falling into a big hole and they fight back and almost get there and don't, or they blow leads. And you can't do that. You're not going to ever win a Stanley Cup if you can't hold the lead.
Yeah. I was glad to see the power play get better. It looked good in that game.
It did. And they've been scoring like a goal every game on the power play, so that's improving a little bit, but the penalty kill is still a struggle.
Yeah.
I think they need to get a defenseman, at least, a strong defenseman to replace Niskanen.
I've been watching.
And
I've been watching the Phantoms too, and they look good. They look great.
they do, and they've got the young kids that shouldn't even be playing in the AHL. They should be in juniors, but
yes.
So they will. Wisdom and their kid Forrester, he scored.
And then Max Willman, he's pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah, Wade Allison got his first goal the other night.
Oh, that was awesome.
They have a lot of kids.
Yeah,
and they got Cam York coming, hopefully.
They got Mason Millman.
Yeah, the future should be bright, but sometimes I just wonder if, what's going on between the Phantoms, and then when they come up to the NHL, they seem to disappear.
Yeah.
But
I heard Nolan Patrick, I heard he's hurt.
Oh, really? I know
sure
tonight, Lindbaum is scratched, and that's my boy, but, he hasn't been playing up to the level that we're used to seeing him play either.
Yeah, and
a lot of that.
I really like our...
Go ahead.
So now you go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I understand better than others do because I went through this treatment, and I don't have the stamina or anything that I used to have, and I can imagine trying to play in the NHL. And one of the things that you get is a lot of fatigue, and I got a feeling, I'm positive that next year he'll be back to normal, but it's not something you just say, okay, I don't have cancer anymore, and all of a sudden you're back to being able to do what you used to do before. It just doesn't work that way.
So I'm not gonna make excuses, but I would say that this whole COVID thing has really changed things for the Flyers.
Yeah, I agree. I think playing so many games in a row, and then they had that week off, and then they have to make them all up, and that's what I'm worried about now. If the coaches of the Rangers have it, who's to say some of the players don't have it, and the Flyers are going to wind up getting sick again. And it's a mess. It really is.
Yeah. I was watching the Phantoms last weekend. After the first period, they suspended the game.
Yeah, I saw that. That's amazing. It's like, didn't they know before the game started, actually? It's kind of weird. But
they were in Newark, and it seems that Newark's been having a lot of problems with COVID lately.
Right. Yeah, it certainly has messed up everything.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's nice that fans are finally getting back in the stands, even though it's only a few.
Yeah.
But
and ironically, the Flyers, when there were no fans, they were winning games. Now the fans are back. They're losing.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, wow, maybe we should ban the fans. But no, it'll be nice that once hopefully next season, everybody will be back in the stands, and it's just a whole different atmosphere when you have, especially Flyers fans in the stands.
Yeah, especially I'm glad to see Gritty is still there.
Yeah, it is. It's very good to see. I love him.
Yeah, me too.
But he adds to it.
So, I heard a lot of people say I was glad to see the Flyers sticking up for each other in the last game.
Yeah, it's about time. I was glad to see that myself. I mean, I grew up with the Broad Street Bullies, so I was used to,
Yeah,
they were there was no take no prisoners. I mean,
yeah, but
I know the game has changed
yeah,
and everything, but you still have to have somebody that's going to, if somebody's flipping you over, you got to stand up for your teammates.
yeah.
But no, that was great to see.
Man, I thought in the last game the Flyers had took a 5-4 lead in the third period, and it was offsides, and I was mad.
Oh yeah, so was Elaine.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a shame. That was a shame, but they did come back and get it. But yeah, no, this is frustrating to watch them sometimes, but
Yes.
Flyers fans, you have to be loyal and you have to stick with it.
Yeah. I've been dealing with a lot of what you call fair weather fans on Facebook.
Um, I know. I can't even read it anymore because I get so angry. It's like they're trading the whole team. Carter Hart stinks. This guy stinks. Stripped the sea from Giroux. It's crazy.
I remember
It's like,
going through this in like 2006, 2007, when everyone was blaming Yanamaki for losses and blaming the goalies.
yeah, it's tough to play in Philadelphia. I mean, ask Carson Wentz.
Yeah, he left.
It's like, yeah, but you have to have a hard skin to play in Philadelphia.
There you go. And yeah. So, what are your favorite Flyers memories?
Well, obviously, the Flyers beat Boston 1-0 to win their first Stanley Cup. And it was an afternoon game on a Sunday afternoon, and me and my buddies, we were out playing street hockey, and we had a radio on the side of the street. And that was really the first championship I remember. All the horns started honking and everything, and I didn't understand I was like, I asked my dad, I said, why are they honking the horns? And he said, because the Flyers won, and they're celebrating. I didn't know people did that and stuff like that. But we went crazy, and then for like 2 weeks, you could drive anywhere, and kids would be standing on the corner honk if you love Bernie Perron.
Bernie Perron.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
tell you, great goalie, and one of the nicest guys you would ever meet.
Yeah. Yeah, I've met him a couple times. As a matter of fact, my family and I, we were standing on Wildwood Boardwalk waiting to get in to have some pizza, and he's walking in, and without even thinking, I said, Bernie! And he turned around with a big grin on his face and waved to us and stuff, and it was nice. I mean, he's a really nice guy, and you can approach him, and well, most hockey players are cool like that.
Yeah. I really, in my favorite memory would have to be Game 7 of the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs when we came back and beat Boston.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was historic. I mean, you not only were you trailing 3-0 and came all the way back to take the series, but in the final game you're trailing 3-0 and you storm all the way back to win the game. That's just unheard of.
Yep. It was a great season. And they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Unfortunately, Michael Layton couldn't make the save. And that was it.
No, he didn't. That was very heartbreaking.
I know.
But it was amazing how they got in there. I mean, on the last day of the season, a shootout, which we never win, and we won.
Yep. I think things started to really change for the Flyers when Flyer got hurt. When Flyer got hurt, that changed everything.
Oh yeah, and that's what they need now. They need some guy. I mean, Michigan, he was good with that last year, but he's kind of faded a little bit in the playoffs. But Pronger was just such a presence, and even like Terry Hatcher, guys like, and they need something like that, somebody to clear the crease. They got to give everybody's talking about Carter Hart and all, but I mean, he's facing a shootout almost every game, and same with, Brian Elliott proved that, he had a couple bad games because the same thing was happening to him.
Well, no, you can't. You can't have good goaltending without good defense.
Right, exactly. I mean, Marty Brodeur, him and Carter Hart almost have the same statistics with the amount of games they played. But the thing is, Jersey all of a sudden went into the trap play, and you didn't get to Marty Brodeur half of the time.
I hated that.
It was just, and I hate to trap myself, but I'm just saying, you need a good, if you want your goaltender to shine. You can't expect them to bail you out a single time.
Yeah, I remember when the Flyers, remember when they played Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2004?
Yep, I remember that.
That was a tough series.
Yeah, and then the one time they played the Florida Panthers, and they gave them a hard time. The Panthers made it to the finals that year, and that was a little tough.
Yeah, Van Beesbrook.
Sorry, my throat's dry here.
Yeah, that's when the Panthers had Van Beesbrook.
Yeah.
And then Van Beesbrook came here years later, and he wasn't as good.
He was getting old. Another good series was when they won their second Stanley Cup. They played Buffalo, and in Buffalo it was so foggy you couldn't see the puck. I mean, that's how bad it was. They were skating around with towels to try to knock down the fog.
I remember hearing about that. I remember that there was a bat in the arena. Somebody killed a bat. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was. And then I see you got your JR. It looks like 87 back there, unless is that JR or is that Shear?
Jake Hurdan. Eric J. Hurdan.
Oh, okay. 37, okay.
He was
a great defenseman for us.
Another good player was Keith Plamo. I like him.
I'll never forget that one. 5 overtimes. It was, wow, against Pittsburgh. We turned the whole series around.
It did.
Because we went to Pittsburgh down. We went to Pittsburgh down 2-0, and then we came back.
Yeah.
But,
And then we ended up playing the Devils. And Lindros, he came back and he got hurt.
yeah, well, that was Stevens knocked them out. But yeah, they were up 3-1 in that series, and we wound up losing the series.
And we ended up losing Lindros as well.
Yeah, forever. Because then they started fighting with them and stuff.
He wasn't the same. He wasn't the same player he was after that.
Even with the concussions and everything, you never know. And that's like Nolan Patrick. You just don't know what's, with the headaches and everything. Every time he gets hit, you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't worry as much as I did in the beginning of the season, but, you still wonder if it happened once, will it happen again?
Yeah, the beginning of the season was like, all right, we got this. We can do this. And then the rest of the season is like, oh God, not again.
No, when they beat Pittsburgh those first 2 games, I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. And I honestly thought it was going to be like that this year, but...
Yeah, I know. We went...
Back to the frustration.
We went from being the best team last year in the month of March, and then we get eliminated in the playoffs by the Islanders. And then they come back, Flyers come back, and the season becomes tough.
Yeah.
And I never read that.
It's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. I agree. But that was a good series. The Flyers gave the Islanders all they could handle.
They did. I mean, it was exciting to see, and they forced the Game 7, but then Game 7, they must have spent all their energy or whatever, and that wasn't even...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a very good game.
Yeah, 3 overtime games they had in that series.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's... You got to keep the faith. I still believe the future is bright with all these young kids we've got, as long as Fletcher doesn't trade them all away.
Yeah, me too.
And you never know, because he has a history of doing that. So.
Yeah.
I hope.
It's going to be a tough stretch. We got the Rangers tonight, and then we got the Islanders tomorrow night.
Yeah, two tough games with the Islanders, and then we have them back home again.
Yeah.
So
the Islanders, they look like a good team. They look like a legit contender. They look like a legit hockey team.
They're right now. I don't know if they won last. I know they were trailing 1-0, but I don't know if they won. But they were on a real streak there because they were playing Washington last night.
That was They were tough games and tough losses for the Flyers.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they were. It hurts. I mean, this short season, you can't afford to get on any kind of losing streak because,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
we
see,
haven't
the
had.
Flyers were near the top, and
Yeah,
now we're out of the playoffs if it started today.
yeah. The Flyers haven't been good in like shortened seasons. They haven't. The last time they ever made the playoffs in a shortened season was '95. Remember, it was a knockout '94.
Yeah,
Playoffs.
that was the shit. Right.
That's when they swept
Yeah, it hasn't been their fault.
they swept the Rangers that year in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, still have half a season left, but they really have to basically just start winning tonight and just keep going.
Yeah, they gotta play desperate hockey right now.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, their playoffs are already starting.
That's what it feels like with these back-to-back
Yeah,
games every night.
right. And it's because you're playing all the same teams in your division. And, I mean, it's going to be tough for them to get back up into the playoffs, but they can do it. But like I said, they have to start winning now.
Yep. I think we have a good coach.
Yeah, I just wish they would address the penalty kill, and I mean, the power play is starting to work a little bit, but the penalty kill still needs work, and I just wish they would address it more.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's special teams are important.
So I heard that hockey will be back on ESPN next year.
For 7 years, yeah. ESPN, ABC.
So what's that mean for Comcast Sportsnet? What's that mean for them?
I don't know. There's been rumors. There's been rumors that it's going to, the Sportsnet and all that's going to disappear after this year.
Oh my god! That's gotta Mr. Snyder must be rolling around in his grave right now.
Oh, he cannot be happy. He cannot be happy.
I think he was in competition with ESPN, wasn't he? That was one of his he was in competition with ESPN, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if they're going to give it the coverage that we've gotten used to. Because they do the basketball, they do everything, and it's just like hockey's a second fiddle to me.
The only thing that would suck about this is no more Taryn Hatcher. That would suck.
My wife's sitting here. I can't comment on that. Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
But, you get used to a certain way, and now it's going to be all different. I mean, hopefully they're getting more money out of it so they can raise the cap and all.
Yeah.
But it's just weird the way NBC decided they don't want to cover it anymore.
I know. They were making so so much money off of it. And they were just
You would
giving up.
think. Yeah, I mean, you would think. Well, hopefully Pierre Maguire won't follow onto ESPN.
Oh, I can't stand him.
No, me either.
But you know what?
Sidney Crosby. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sid. Yeah, what were you saying? Sidney Crosby was.
I was going to say, it's Sidney Crosby's boyfriend.
Yeah. Tonight, say too. And you know what I miss?
We'll see what happens.
I miss Josh Emmerich. Mike Emmerich. I gotta tell you, he's very talented. He's a very talented announcer.
Yeah, no, well, he's a Hall of Fame announcer, that's for sure. I remember when he did him and Bill Clement did the Flyers games.
Yeah, you felt like you were on the edge of your seat when you hear Mike Emmerich.
Right.
Yeah, these new guys that they got on NBC, they're not good.
No, they're very boring.
I know.
And usually, it's when you're watching hockey, even on TV, it's not with these guys.
No. I would say the worst game of the season was that game against the Bruins. It was outside. That was a horrible game.
That was horrible. But that, we were missing 6 players. It's never been played. It wasn't fair.
Yeah.
At that time, the best team in the league, and you're missing all. And I mean, it wasn't like it was 6 players, that hardly play. It was your star players were missing. There was no Gene, there was no Voracek. I mean, it was crazy. No TK.
Yeah. I remember growing up. I remember the Flyers. Remember Prism? Prism, yeah.
Yep. When Prism first came on, there was no commercials or anything, and I love that. It was like, because even like watching the Phillies, you would watch them take grounders in between innings and stuff. They didn't have commercials.
Yeah, Prism was great.
Yeah. And then that got taken over by Comcast.
Yep. And that became Comcast Sportsnet.
Yep. When that first came on, I used to love like Daily News Live and all that stuff.
Yeah, Cozy's Corner.
It used to be. Yeah. And even that changed so much.
Yeah.
But
You know what I don't like? The whole betting on games. I don't like that.
no, I never got into that kind of thing either.
It takes away the essence of the game.
Right. No, that's definitely not my thing either.
My favorite memory, this isn't really technically this would be a Flyers memory, is when the Phantoms won the Calder Cup in 2005.
Uh-huh. I was at their first, when they won it the first time, I was actually there. And it was great.
Oh, 98.
Against the Flames.
Yeah. Like St. John's Flames.
That was at the at the Spectrum, and it was so great.
Yeah.
You
You know,
know,
you rarely, sometimes on TV, you can get like they'll show the Lehigh Valley Phantoms on TV. It's channel 55, WFMZ, I think. Usually shows a game or two.
Yeah, I miss being able to see them right now because of my health. We're down in Maryland so that I can get treatment down here and stuff. So I'm missing a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I always enjoyed watching the Phantoms. I was sad when they left Philadelphia.
Yeah, they went to Glens Falls. They went to New York. Glens Falls.
They were up in New York.
And then they went to Lehigh Valley. Which they should have did in the first place. They should have did in the first place.
But, I mean, at least they're close now.
Yeah. I went to a Reading Royals hockey game a couple of years ago. They're like affiliated with the Flyers, I think. And because, and because of COVID, they had to cancel their season.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunately caused a lot of problems.
It does.
But I can't wait. I mean, we've gotten vaccinated now, so we're kind of safe. But
I'm still waiting.
you know,
I'm still waiting to get mine.
yeah, I mean, it took me a while. It took a while to get vaccinated, but we finally did. But unfortunately, there's not many people that are really when you get down to it, considering.
Yeah. I still remember.
I just want to get back. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Ed. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
No, I just can't wait to get back into the stadium.
Yeah, me too.
It's
kind of hard for me to go to a game now. Because we have nursing. We have nurses come to the house, and they're on like a schedule, so it's kind of hard for me to get out to a game like I used to.
Right. Yeah. And there's nothing like hockey live. I mean, it's really the best sport to go see live.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe you'll be able to get there somehow.
Yeah, I hope so.
Me too. So.
Well. Yeah, I used to go to a lot of games with my dad. Me and my dad used to go to a lot of games.
Well, that's what I always take my one son, Michael. He loves hockey, and we always go together and stuff like that when we get to come.
One thing...
There's nothing like...
Yeah, there's nothing like it, I think.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, back when I used to go to games, every time I would see them play the Bruins, they would lose. Every game I went to see them play the Bruins, they would lose.
We haven't had, in our whole history, we haven't had much luck against the Bruins, except for winning a Stanley Cup and then that comeback we had in 2010. But for the most part, Dave will remember. It's one team that I always hated playing.
Yeah. I've been ignoring a lot of negative people on Facebook right now that are bad mouthing the team. Like I've been seeing people say bad things about the Flyers. And I just ignore it.
You have to, because they're so ridiculous. You have to ignore it, otherwise you're going to get into a little argument. It's not.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
They should be grateful that they get to watch Flyers hockey. They should be grateful.
Well, they're guys that they like to start trouble. They like to be trouble and stuff. Even when they win, they'll complain.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not a fan if you're going to complain winning the games and stuff.
I mean, it's okay. It's alright to criticize the team, but don't badmouth them.
No, right. You can. I mean, trust me, I throw slippers at the TV and everything. But, and, I get upset with them, but that's my team. And the next day, guess what? I'm a Flyers fan, and I'm with them 100%.
I'm like that, too. When they lose, you know what? Sometimes I wish I could pick something up and just throw it. Out of anger. But I can't.
No. I even watched the draft and yell at them at the draft. Why'd you pick that guy? I just love hockey, but
And I would yell at the referee too. If he made a bad call.
I won't get into that. They are terrible. I'm sorry. I mean, and it's not just for the Flyers, it's for all the teams. It's just
Yeah, it's because
I don't know if they're not pegging the up there.
We have the same referees in every game. It's the same refs.
Yeah. And there's certain ones that are good, but there's a lot of them that they just aren't very good.
Yeah. I remember my dad telling me about 1980. Remember when they were playing the Islanders?
Leon Stickle.
It was offsides.
Offsides by a mile. Leon Stickle. Never forget him.
I bet he got booed when he came back.
Oh. People wanted to kill him. It's like, oh, that was horrible. So many things, so many times that they probably could have won a Stanley Cup and they just fell short.
Yeah, especially in 1987 when they played the Oilers.
Yeah. They had them. And I mean, that was obviously the Oilers were an amazing team.
Yeah, Gretzky, Paul Coffey,
Messier,
Semenko.
Grant Fuhr in goal. Yeah. What was his name? He was a flyer for old paper for Yari Curry, I think it was.
Yep. And McSorley.
Marty McSorley, yep. No, that was a good game, but we could have won that. We actually had the lead in Game 7, and then we didn't make it. And if Pelly Lindbergh hadn't passed away, I think we would have won a couple with it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That was hard. That was a tough year. That
was, yeah.
Pelly Lindbergh, he was like a father to the Flyers. He was like a father to all the young players on that team. And when he passed away, they lost a piece of themselves as well.
Well, yeah, that was tough. I'll never forget that. I mean, I remember Channel 6 being there, showing the light from the room that he was in and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was on life support, wasn't he? I forget.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he was on life support, and then they came and they pulled it, but I heard the morning players all going into a building so they could talk about it and stuff, and then they played the Oilers the first game back, and the Oilers offered to postpone the game, but they said no, we're going to play it, and they won. They won.
Yeah, I remember.
In his honor, I guess.
One of the players, I recall I was watching the history of the Philadelphia Flyers, and I remember one of the players on the Flyers saying, when I scored the opening goal, I almost cried. That's what one of the players said.
Yeah. I remember Gene Hart doing the ceremony and all that stuff. And at the Spectrum, they had the number 31 hanging in the corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flyers have kind of been a cursed team with that kind of stuff. Barry Ashby. Bernie lost, he got his eye hurt. He lost his vision in his one eye somewhat.
And then Pryor had an eye injury too. And Pryor got it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it.
I'll tell you.
And my first thought, when Pryor got hit in the eye, I'm like, oh no, I remember. This happened, Ted. 24 on.
Yeah, it's. I always said it just seems like there's a black cloud hanging over. Every time they get close to being a really good team, something happens, and the next thing you know, they're rebuilding again.
Yeah, but one day we're gonna win the cup, and that will all change.
Well, I hope so. I hope it happens soon.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for that parade, if it happens.
Me either.
Well, it was good having you on here, Greg. And thank you,
Tim. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's good to have you on here. And thank you for being on the Timmy Flyersguy podcast, and I'm going to end it right here by saying, let's go Flyers.
Let's go Flyers.
Yep. Alright, now I'll be seeing you, Greg. Thank you for joining me.
Alright, take it easy, Tim.
You too.
My pleasure. Alright, buddy.
See ya.
Let's win tonight.
Yep.
Bye-bye.